What's good, fellow CEOs? Welcome to the Irony of Gaming. And we have made it to 400 subs. That is insanity. I want to thank you guys for showing support for the channel, because without you guys, this couldn't have been possible. So thank you. And it's been an amazing ride. And here's to many more. Okay, so I hope everybody has had a great Christmas and a great New Year's, because, you know, it's going to be an insane year for 2026. So I hope everybody is feeling refreshed and recharged, because we have a lot to cover for story for the 2026. So we got a lot to cover. So let's get to it. So the other day I was looking into the collections section, and guys, I have a surprise for you all. So I ended up finding the world map section within the story side of it, and it literally has the dives that I was talking about, dive 46 to 50. Now, normally I thought that it was, dive 45, because I think that you start it in dive 45, but then the actual story begins to occur at 46. So we're gonna be looking into those. We're gonna cover that story. It basically talks about a little bit more on the scavengers, and a bit more lore on there, how capable they are, how powerful they are, and whatnot. Because when it first came out, on the first release, when the dive 45 to 50 first came out, it was just insanity from there. It was like, whoa. And at the time, I would say that it was challenging. Definitely it was challenging. I'm not sure how well it holds up now to like the current meta of the game, but we're probably gonna figure that out. We're probably gonna find out. But yeah, we're gonna go into the collection section, and the story wasn't really that long either. It was like it really wasn't that long. It was like I guess you could say it was like half of a section of like any of the acts and whatnot. So it's just gonna show like some interesting cool stuff right there. But it's always nice to have a little bit of extra lore to it and whatnot. But yeah, we're gonna start this up now. Of course, you guys know the drill already. If I'm gonna talk about anything spoiler related of all the sub streams and all the main stories and whatnot, then I'm gonna count down from 5 seconds. That's gonna give you guys time to mute the video. Once I'm done talking about what I'm talking about, I'm going to rotate my mouse just like this, and yeah, you could just unmute the video from there, and we'll continue on with it. But also too, we may right after this story, because I don't think it's gonna be this long. So what's gonna happen is after this, we're gonna go and we're gonna revisit the old missions. We're gonna pay a visit to those, and gonna see, show you guys, I guess, like some of the teams that you could possibly use to progress through there if you are stuck at this section and whatnot. I'm gonna try and do my best to what's it called? I'm gonna try and do my best to use specific units, not to use too many awakens. Like, use awakens that are probably more accessible to you guys from there. But yeah, we'll cross that bridge though once we get there. But yeah, we're gonna start the measured coordinates. I wonder what would the title be for this though. I guess dive 46 to 50 story, I guess. Yeah, let's start it. Uh-oh. Here we go. Ah, see? Hold on. The name Rojo. That has like a wasn't this like a similar name? Or it was the exact name of the, was it the Omen, the recent Omen? It'd be really interesting if we could find out more about this character, about his past. And honestly, this probably could explain why, why he has the augments on him. Bro said around your neck. Savage. Bro cut his head off. research ship. All right, 46-2. Oh wow, this is pretty quick. This is a lot quicker than I thought it would be. It's a lot shorter. They were the remnants of the scavengers subjugated by the Administration Coalition fleet. Hey, Xiaolin. Wait a minute, you're not sure if it could dive though? Shouldn't you have asked the dealer first before making the purchase, Xiaolin? Wait. Oh. Kind of weird. I wonder what they're after. Ooh, collector. boss didn't lose her head to Alphatrix. Okay. I remember hearing this track for the first time, and I was just like, man, this is really cool. This song sounds pretty dope. Oh man, the fights with it was just insane the first time this came out. You don't want to end up in an imaginary space. Your eyes on the instrument panel. Man, this vice chairman guy really is something. Okay, you know what? Because from what I remembered, I thought it was just Zhao Lin was there. I didn't know the other alt squad members, excluding Seo Yoon, had joined the team as well. You think he'll ambush us? The administration coalition fleet. You know what I wonder? I wonder if they would end up making a substream story more like, talking more about the scavengers and I guess explaining a little bit about that specific event that leads to this happening. So I guess like a substream about fighting the administration coalition fleet. I think that would be interesting. Whoa, what? Most of those that lost got killed by something gigantic that showed up at the end of the battle. I wonder what that would be. But wait, I wonder, where was the location of the battle, though? Something gigantic. So this definitely has to be a category 5 or maybe even higher. But wait a minute, if I have a theory on something though, because like if it was like the scavengers, I would think that the scavengers would probably, they're always hopping dimension to dimension, but I would also think that they probably would be in the desert section, only because you know what, just in case. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so for those of you who didn't mute the video, so I have a few theories on this. Because from what because from some parts of the stories that I've read, like the substream, and I think maybe in one of the main episodes, the scavengers usually tend to be like, I guess, in desert areas, and also within, jumping from dimension to dimension. Now the reason why I say like probably the desert section too is because in one of the substream stories there was the Sigma one, the one where it talks about Sigma's story, where her entire background story on how she ended up coming here to the coffin company. Now the thing is, this is the first time within that substream story, this was where we were first introduced to Machine Collector. Now at the time, Machine Collector, we didn't know what she looked like, because she was like all covered up with like all this scavenger gear and whatnot. And fast forwarding, she encounters Coffin Company, and she encounters specifically Seo Yoon. Seo Yoon goes to stop her. Machine Collector ends up surrendering, right? So but from there, the scavengers, they were like always around in a desert background section. So if that is the case, then that would mean that this, like, if this was true, that there was something gigantic and it probably was a CEO, this could be leading back to that mysterious CEO that was there during Surya's story, where they were just killing people and devouring them now and then whenever the sandstorm were to occur. Because that's one of the only things that I could think of that could be large enough just to kill on such a great scale, unless if it was in the CounterSide effect. Well, I mean, something crazy probably did happen. Maybe it was even a potential demon lord, the empty husk of Leviathan, maybe, that skulks the CounterSide effect. Well, that skulks the CounterSide world in there. That could be something, or it could possibly be even. Well, no, I would think it probably maybe it was the Kraken, maybe it could be like, it was like going through those type of dimensions and they just came across something like that, because not much is really known on where the Kraken was at during that time. But I don't know. It's probably a few other things. It could possibly also be like something that we haven't even encountered yet or even know of yet. But I guess aside from that, it's just rumors. But yeah, it's just something interesting about it. An artifact of the old administration. That would be interesting if it was an artifact. But for it to be like a gigantic size. Oh, wait a minute. Was it 4-1? No, we did 4-1. I think it was the second one. Uh-oh. Oh, they probably sent them to imaginary space. You go there, your chances of ever coming back is next to none. Ah, Pay attention to these few sentences right here. Yep, imaginary space. A lot of foreshadowing. A head equipped with an AI module. Well, of course they did. When you're up against Coffin Company. The fairy godmother, huh? The random coordinates worked? You know, Chloe, I'm starting to believe maybe there is a fairy godmother. maybe this godmother did give you the coordinates. Oh, there we go. Never mind. Man, you guys gotta love Chloe. You gotta love her. A scam artist to the end. You know, she probably would make a great pirate. Oh, there we go. Ooh. I think it's what's the second one? Yeah, second one. Wait, hold on 1 second. Wait, was this? Okay, yeah. Yeah, this was crazy. On dive 48, it was like, damn, this is getting pretty critical. That was insane when you can see what this machine did. It's just repairing itself. Hey, Shinja. Bruh. Oh, she thought she thought she was talking about something else. Wow, Xiaolin. I mean, when you think about it, I guess that would feel pretty uncomfortable, right? Especially when you have to lay down in order to snipe. curious on something. Okay, never mind. Okay, die 49. It's the same one that cost the boss's head. Yeah, this one was crazy. Die 48. It was quite the challenge back then. Oh, it was like 49 though. Die 49 was quite the challenge on there. Okay, so let's go here. Shinja to the rescue. Man, you gotta love Shinja. She's just a pure prodigy. She's like, oh, I thought everybody could do this. It's like in a way like the way that she comes across, people would see her as like smug, or she's like, what's the word that I'm looking for this? Arrogant, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word, or maybe overconfidence. She unconsciously has that overconfidence thing. But the cool thing about it all is that she can back it up. Code Sigma. Wow, he dropped like a ton of bricks. Did we put Sigma in there? Pretty badass. Hold on 1 second. And all right. Evolved one. E1. Uh-oh, gotta try and stop them. And this is the final one. A big facility on the counter side. Uh-oh. They're putting back together E1. Uh-oh. Now you guys are really seeing just how powerful E1 is, or at least you get a small glimpse of how powerful she is lore-wise. Ooh, it's gotten stronger since the coalition fleet. Wow. Okay. Oh, I remember this theme song too. I love this theme song. It's one of my favorites. This is one of the one of the side stories that got my attention. I just wanted to know more about this, especially with the theme song that they put on this. It fits so well with it. Man, man, this machine, it just gives you an idea on just how large E1 is compared to like a human-sized person. Insanity. And concerned with the administration. Anti-EMP barrier. She already developed a tech for it to resist EMP. Can you imagine that? A machine resisting EMP? Including my humanity. All right, this all connects. as well. So if you guys are curious about this section right here, what she's talking about, what E1's talking about, I would recommend you guys read the substream for Shinja. I I think it's the one with her awakening. But it was within that base for what they had. Ooh. Ah, he must not know. Oh, Sisop. Dr. Embers. Illegally transferred artifacts. Ooh, so she was stuck at one point, and she was calling for help. And technology. And there you have it. And this is where this like the dive itself. This is where you learn the true identity of Evolved One, which this is Dr. Ember. And you'll hear it from Machine Collector, where she reveals the identity. I wonder, can she use organic flesh as well to evolve herself, besides using the machines? Especially since her head basically is, like, I guess the only organic thing left. 3 hearts. I really do think that this is the same Rojo. Has to be. And there you have it. That was the end of the dive, 46 to 50. So it has some interesting foreshadowing and whatnot, and yeah, it was pretty cool on there. It's nice to know specific lore, especially since some characters do return in the main episodes. So this was a really good lore to learn on there. Unfortunately, they had locked it behind the dives. So some people who were struggling and whatnot, they would eventually be doing the main story and put the dive on hold, and then they wouldn't be aware of the extra context of what they were reading because they had locked it behind the dives. However, these were the only dive stories that were available back then. Because the devs, they decided to not add any more story into difficulties like that, because there were players who were having a hard time getting through it. And back then it was a tough dive. Like dive 46 to 50 was difficult. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it, and we're gonna do one other thing as well before ending this. We're going to relive the experience of the dives. So we're gonna start from, now normally it would be dive 45 and upwards, but we're gonna skip dive 45 and we're just gonna go for dive 46 to 50 based off of what the story was doing. Now this was the units that I am going to use. I'm going to use Estarossa and these other units here. Now normally I'm going to use these 2 units because you can pretty much get them for free, and I'm going to use Sail Yoon at the end of it just in case, but that would be the only Awakens that I would have on the team. Now I am thinking of doing a little switch up here. Because what we mainly want to do is that we want to have enough defense to, to stall. You want to stall just a little bit while also having a nice set of high DPS. So what I am going to do is we could use Machine Collector. Rearmed Machine Collector. Try that out. And hold on one second. Alright, so strikers, we need like a high DPS of a striker, right? So you know what? I guess we could just do this. We could We could try using this one right here.
초대 작전 지휘 시스템 온라인.
Oh, wait a minute. I think this is the wrong Ifrit, because I think I have 2 of them. I could have sworn I had 2 of them. Didn't I? I must have merged them by mistake or something. Oh well. So yeah, we're gonna use so we're gonna use this one.
예쁘게 감사합니다.
And the final awaken, who we're gonna use? So that's like high DPS wise. I mean, I guess we could just. I guess we could just put her here. Just
가장 마지막까지 남는다.
I guess you could say as a final thing. Oh, you know what? Actually, no. I got an idea. Wait a minute. We're gonna use rearm Jalen.
배치 완료했습니다. 이번엔 어떤 장비죠? 양각대? 스코프?
For this one, I may do something a little bit different.
메이드복 차림이 아니니 긴장되는군요.
We're gonna put her on the team.
어떤 것 같으시죠, 주인님?
Okay, I think we're good. Yeah, I think this will be fine. So let's see what happens.
다이브 개시.
So I'm gonna do this as a full auto, and we'll see what happens.
허가받지 않은
Now, back then, you can see how it has like the whole nice artwork right here too.
조무래기들에게 겁먹을 수.
But back then, these dives were a little bit lengthy.
강화한다.
So it may it may take like, I don't know, maybe like 15 minutes maybe to finish each dive. 15 minutes each. But we'll see what happens.
방심하지 말고 돌파한다.
Honestly, it may even take just 5 minutes. And, it's just gonna choose random rewards. 'Cause
수호령께서 가르쳐 주셨습니다.
I'm guessing like at
들키지만
at this point of levels, it probably wouldn't matter if you have a few units at 120, or maybe even a few more at 110.
얼터그레시브 모드 활성. 이거는 우리가 잡았다.
날 믿고 따라오도록.
정의의 이름으로. 영웅은 무조건 이긴다니깐요. 항로가 수정됐습니다.
Ooh, another artifact. What we get?
적 성체적 이몸 등장.
우리는 별의 인도를 지금부터 내가 지휘한다.
But yeah, like for the dives 46 to 50,
베리어 생성.
the way that the mechanics were, you like there's like a whole set of combinations that you can use to tackle this whole thing. So the good thing about it is that there are many different ways to go about it. The one that I'm choosing is like, you know, one that can stall the enemy long enough. Like, so you have like a pretty good tank that can stall this while also building up your DPS.
전승조원 조무래기들에게 겁먹을 쓰냐? 한번 물들여주지.
Oh, man.
개방.
Yeah, Hilda helps out a lot on this. Now, also too, for the dives 46 to 50, you could use Jake as well. Jake is pretty good. He's pretty phenomenal for this type of run because of what is it? He has a knack for like injuring machines and whatnot, like stunning them. So he's great to use against mechs. But in this case here, rather than me using Jake, I'm using Rearm Machine Collector to deal with that whole situation. I think that this will be enough, even for the bosses. It may be a little bit of a stretch when fighting E1, but we'll see.
우리는 별의 인도를 받는다. 점목 베리어 생성. 자, 출력 전. 적을 분쇄한다.
Yeah, as you can see, we're like mowing through them pretty quickly.
불어라. 레긴 파크를. 적을 분쇄한다.
전투를 대
Yeah, these were pretty lengthy back then. I think that since then they have
코트 인자. 개방.
made it a little bit shorter, the dives,
베리어 생성.
but they definitely have made them more challenging.
베리어 생성.
감당할 수 있냐?
출력 전개.
And if you're wondering, it is possible to go full auto for all the dives from 1 to 80. It is possible. If you guys are wondering about that,
이건
you just gotta have the right combination of teams and the right amount of gear as well. But basically here what I'm doing is I'm pretty much just like showing you guys, you know, step by step on, you know, like one of the teams that can be effective against this type of dive. thing is though is that as you go higher into the dives, the DPS begins to it begins to increase more.
나무랄 데 없이 훌륭한 지휘였다. 현장에서는
So you just gotta be aware of that.
완료되었습니다.
Alright, so we beat 46. Okay, so now we're gonna go to 47.
행운의 부적 절찬 판매 중입니다. 전승조원.
It's pretty much just to add a little bit of context to it.
우리는 별의 인도를 받는 지금부터 내가 지휘한다.
Actually, the one that I think you guys already got catch the drift of basically what it is. So what I'm gonna do is we're going to fast forward just a little bit. I think it was, what was it? Was it dive 48? I think it was dive 48 with the one, yeah, dive 40. I think this dive 48 that people were having a little bit of trouble with.
행운의 부적 절찬 판매 중입니다.
Back then, hold on. Before we do any of that. Oh wow, this is a lengthy one. Will they let me? I don't think they'll let me do it. Okay.
수호령께서 가르쳐 주셨습니다.
Hold on, I'm just gonna take control of it over this for a bit.
허가받지 않은 다이빙입니다. 이 몸 등장!
우리는 별의
물 그려주지!
출력 배려 정말 적을
얼터그레시브 모드
But yeah, this is pretty much the team that is just gonna steamroll through all
감시하지
of
말고
it.
돌파한다.
You can use the same team. Now you also gotta make sure that you have high enough DPS as well, because if you can run out of time with this if you're not doing enough damage and
항로가
whatnot.
수정됐습니다.
Okay, I'm gonna try and steamroll
전투를
this.
대비해 주십시오. 조무대기들에게 겁먹을 쓰냐? 물 그려주지!
배려 생성 출력 전개
감당할 수 있냐?
출력 전개 감시하지 말고 돌파한다. 배려 생성
Okay, we could just do that.
적 성체적 이몸 등장!
클리포트 인자 개방
감당할 수 있냐?
배려 생성
Oh, they have oh wait, no, never mind. I could have sworn that there was a tower. There was like another tower unit besides the boss there.
전승조원
Now, of course, the game, since it's on auto, it game's just gonna choose what it thinks is best. But
보여주지.
I mean, of course, it doesn't always make the right decisions, as you just saw with the buff that it just showed.
출력 전개.
되는 거 맞지?
여기
Like there were two other ones that were better,
얼터그레시브 모드.
but game chose what the game chose.
배리어 생성. 배리어 생성.
맞서 싸웁시다. 영웅은 무조건 이긴다니깐요. 이것도 요정님의 안배겠죠.
Okay, perfect. Now, is this the? Oh man. Well, this is the Chronos beta. Well, they do have Rojo right here though, so
꾸준히
I guess
침식하다
that's fair.
검출됐습니다. 이몸 등장!
I think it was maybe dive 49, maybe.
출력 전개.
누가 집착해구는 건데?
출력
But
전개.
for the sake of the length of the video, though, I'm gonna do a few skips. But yeah, as you can see, it starts to get a little bit challenging. They're starting to push back more now, especially since Rojo's there too. And the thing is, the goal of this particular fight is you don't want Rojo reaching the ship, and you don't want E1 to be close to the ship. Because when E1 launches, if E1 manages to launch a nuke, it's going to end up destroying the ship. Now you have to also be prepared too that prepared to see that Rojo, after a specific time, or overflow in this case, he will, after some time, he will respawn to the map again, to the field again, to try and reach the ship. And you want to stop him from doing that. Okay, so you got to see a little bit of what's happening here. So now we're gonna do the final one, which is 50. 49 is basically kind of like the same fight, basically, but it's just, a little bit more challenging, a little bit more health, and they're more aggressive. But with this type of build that I have, or if you can get something similar to it, it'll pretty much take care of this whole situation. Ooh, this is a nice one. But I am curious about something. I'm gonna abandon the artifact. We're gonna skip it. Okay, we could do something here.
들키지만 않으면 합법.
That 25% damage amp was pretty good. But for experiment's sake, I'm going to skip that one. But yeah, you start to see a lot more hostiles showing up. So you want to make sure you have a nice set of tanks, rearm Estarossa and have maybe a Hilde, or a tank that's maybe just as strong or strong enough to take the assault damage and whatnot. Like to have some support units as well. Oh look, they did it again right here. Let's do counter attack. 5%. I don't want to choose the damage amp one because I mean, as you can see already, my units are strong enough. So I am curious to see what would happen if I didn't use that. Of course, I mean, they're not gonna die faster, but... Okay.
적 성체 접근이 포착됐습니다. 이몸 등장! 한방 물들여주지!
강화한다.
어차피 손에
분쇄한다.
Nice.
영웅은 무조건 이긴다니깐요.
Ooh. Now we got 15%. 3 artifacts so far.
적 성체 접근이 포착됐습니다. 조무래기들에게 겁먹을 거냐?
I may just go full auto on the next 3 because it just really doesn't matter at this point.
출력 전개.
도와줄게요. 나 가볼까? 감당할 수 있냐? 이거나 드시지.
출력 전개. 적을 분쇄한다.
맞서 싸우자. 여기까지.
죽여라. 소중한 사람을 지키기 위해서.
난 미스틸 페이지. 이만 가즈이다.
Yeah, we could do that. More speed. Then I'll just let the game decide what it wants to do.
이 몸 등장.
But yeah, also too, just to let you guys know, just in case, like around this type of level on the dives, like maybe I say dive 45 to 50. I mean that is they do still qualify as end game content, so it is end game stuff. So if you are still struggling with it and whatnot, don't feel discouraged or anything like that, because it is supposed to be end game content. So you just gotta invest a little bit more in the gear, and you'll be all set.
전승조. 이 몸 등장.
지금부터 내가 지휘한다. 출력 전개. 벗으라고. 출력 전개.
이거 이렇게 누구를 되는 거 맞지?
점호. 적을 분쇄한다.
난 가볼까? 감당할 수 있냐? 있어? 주도권은 우리가 잡았다며. 지하 가봐봐. 죽여버려. 아직 감이 이어져서
재료 생산.
Now also too, when you do beat dive 50, it does unlock
적성체 반응이 확인됩니다.
it does unlock the ability to create the ship, the Matador ship. I don't think much has changed since then, so I think that you still have to beat dive 50 in order to unlock the ship. Of course, if you got the anniversary coupons or anything like that, you could always use that to get the ship. But I mean, personally for me, I'd recommend you don't do that, because I mean, you pretty much will get the option to get the ship by just playing the game normally without having to like waste a coupon ticket on that. It's an interesting ship and it's good, but I think it would be better to wait a bit and then until you're able to beat the dive, and then you can unlock the ship yourself. And also too, not only that, but it does unlock the ability to use the golden bullets, which you would need in order to because once you have enough golden bullets, you can use that to get a free awaken, which is the E1 unit. So you will get a free E1 when you beat when you get enough gold bullets. But in order to unlock the ability to even get the gold bullets, you would have to generally beat dive 50. At least that's how it was back then. I think that still is the case. I don't think that they became lenient on that, because I mean it is technically endgame content and it is supposed to be pretty challenging to get, you know, an awakened unit of that caliber. So yeah. Speaking of that too, I have to actually increase. I need to get more of the golden bullets so I can get the unique gear for E1. I want to test those out. But yeah, let's start this. So this was a pretty difficult one, but I'm pretty confident that we'll make it.
그의 코트 인자 개방. 출력 전개.
Yeah, back then, like, they would shred my units like crazy. Just like what they're doing right now to Hilde. They're shredding Hilde. Let's see, with high DPS and enough time, this will give you enough time to really dish out some damage to E1. Now E1 is going to try and nuke us, which she might do it. Yep, there she goes. But the thing is, when she does that nuke, you want to be sure that she's not near your ship, because she can one-shot that ship if she's too close. But with enough distractions, you know, you should be fine. And there we go. So as you can see, you saw how, you know, how quickly they could deal a lot of damage on. I think they defeated Hilde, and then we had to redeploy her again. But yeah, that's the dive. Oh right, I wasn't even aware that we were even using the coordinates. So that's probably a good thing. We did what we did. Yeah, but yeah, that was the dive. You know, I guess you could say the partial lost episodes that we were missing. We were missing 2 other ones as well. Apparently there's like a cutscene for the dive of the Guardian of Sephira. I don't think I've encountered that myself, because when I started the dive, when I started the raid on that, I didn't see anything on there. And also I did notice that they have like the cutscene that shows up when you first start the Omen. I noticed that wasn't included in there also. I'm gonna try and look for it again. I'm gonna try and look again within the collection section, because maybe I overlooked it or something like that. But if anything, if it isn't there, then yeah, that was another one that was missing. So I'm thinking that maybe when the Omens are all done, or maybe in future updates, they would you know, add more of the missing cutscenes and whatnot. Now there is a few other ones that were included in the story, in the collection section under the story as well, which was the dimension trimming stories, though, like the ones with the swift trimming. So we're gonna be checking that out sooner or later, one of these days. It's really interesting stuff on this one, but it also, I do have an idea on something like this for the swift trimming Trinity one, because I think that the individual in this, the mysterious individual behind this, within this small substream story, would be, I think it's somebody that we all know already and who was contacting them, but I definitely would have to reread it again just to be sure exactly. But other than that, yep, that was all the dives that was all the story for the dives, which was 46 to 50. And yeah, it's been really cool, because I've been wanting to reread that type of that substream. Well, I don't even know if you could really call it a substream story, but it's a side story. But I've been wanting to read that side story again on there. It's got a lot of interesting context behind it. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it, and hope you guys have a great Happy New Year. And yeah, we got a lot to cover in 2026. But also too, guys, just to let you guys know, I do have other games that I do play on the gaming channel for the playlist, so you can feel free to check that out. I'll have a link in the description below. And also too, I do have a gaming shorts channel, so be sure to check that out, because that's where I'm going to be uploading my gaming shorts stuff on there going forward. And also too, I do have a music channel as well, so feel free to check that out. Don't worry, I have all of those like the stuff that I just mentioned. I have all that in a link in the description, so you can feel free to check that out. There's also a few of the tutorials that I had made for CounterSide as well, so you can check those out as well. But yeah, I'm out of here, guys. Catch you later.